Okay, so this looks like a Walters building, but it doesn't quite look like the one you get out of the box.
No, I've used some brick paper like the other two buildings. There's just a bit of work, more work, where you got to make sure that it's all cut out properly. I also added lights all over. All my buildings are going to have lights. And that's a flour mill.
Right. Looks very nice. So now the trains continue along. Now we're out into the first loop part of the island.
That's right. We're leaving St. Eugene.
Right.
And now we're going to be entering the province of Quebec.
All right. La Belle Province.
Yeah. So all this is winter. And once you get from here to here, that's where the transition from winter to spring will happen.
Okay.
So we could say that starting from here, we've got spring. And you're, let's see, we're leaving St. Eugene, so we'll call this Rigaud.
Okay.
So the first industry you see here is a cement plant.
Yeah.
Which is 6 kits put into one. When they say kit bashing, well, that's...
Yeah, it looks like a few European kits. And is that a Helgen kit in there in the middle somewhere? Or no?
Isn't that the tower, what do you call it, a yard tower?
Oh.
That's just the top part of the yard tower.
Sure, yeah. Well, that's terrific. And then you've got a propane liquid air facility?
Yeah, it just happens that a little bit further from where I live, I saw a propane tank that said liquid air. And I go, oh, okay.
Canadian liquid air.
Yeah, I said, well, and they've got the cars for it, so why not?
Very nice.
And
it's
then,
like little Gilbert Lacroix tanks back there. And then we got
we've got my refinery.
Petro-Canada plant. Wow.
And that's a few kits also.
Yes. And then over here is an aggregate of some sort plant?
Yeah, that's my sand, call it sand industry. It's like I already have the backdrop for that one.
Yes.
It's just that I had to, well, it was put there temporarily because I need to paint the tracks first.
Very nice. This is quite a nice complex set of turnouts here too. I like that design.
It feeds 2 industries.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it feeds 2 industries, plus you've got this further track that will feed 2 more industries.
Yeah, so it gives you a bit of a lead either way as well, so the line can run independently. Very nice. And then you're coming around the corner here and you're...
The next one is the Vulcan Manufacturing, which I haven't found a name for yet. That's going to be right there. And then further down is going to be the mining company. Well, I don't know how I'm going to build it because I don't like building straight, like having the building look like the picture on the box.
Sure.
So it has to be, there's something I'll be doing to that building that's going to look different.
Well, just have to get photos of the prototype, right? And then you just need the plastic and away you go.
Yeah, that's right. What I usually do is again, spend time on the internet looking at the same industry but at different places, and then taking a bit of everything, because like I said, the towns are pretty much true, but there's no such industries around here.
I gotcha.
So I can invent my industries.
So we're moving along here.
Yeah.
And where do we go next? It winds back on itself again?
Yeah, now we're leaving the spring section.
Yes.
So from here there's going to be a tunnel.
Yeah.
And the reason why I ballasted inside the tunnel is because it's 2 tracks wide. So if you're going to look,
you're going to see.
You'll be able to see pretty far. So I said, wow, you know what? I had done the tunnel, but I had to tear it down. Because what I did is I took one of those portals.
Yeah.
Those double portals. And I said, well, I'm just going to take it this width.
Yeah, didn't work out.
It doesn't work out. It's good if it's straight.
Yeah.
But if it's a curve, forget it. And I had measured the entire tunnel, and I had covered it with plaster, and when I tried one of the trains in, it's just stuck. So I said, oh no. So yeah, I tore it down, and I ended up making little templates,
Yeah.
which I'm gonna put around, and then cover it. So I've put that aside for now. So there's going to be...
You mean you made a mistake?
Oh, mistakes.
It's okay though. You just have to live with them, that's all, and carry on, right?
But
yeah.
Watching videos of, let's say, I would type in how to,
Yes.
And find a video, and you'll probably find 5-6 types of videos, and you try to, like, being a civil engineer, it's like, okay, no, that's not right. So you pick the right one, and you hope that you won't have to undo. So, yeah.
So we're coming around the corner. What do we got next here?
So here's going to be a paper mill.
Yes.
Yeah, a paper mill, and this is all going to be summer. And it's probably it's going to be a field because we have it says concrete grain elevator.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a double grain elevator right here.
Very
That's
nice.
why I've got 2 tracks over there for parking all the cars. Oh, and you say you never do mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, right here, I have to install a tortoise.
Yes.
It just happens to be under
Yeah.
so
Support brace.
support brace. So I got to fix that. I got to cut it out and
Move the brace.
move the brace in. So that's something we learned. And as we come around, there wasn't supposed to be a gorge here.
But every railroad needs a gorge.
Well, every railroad needs a trestle.
Yes.
That's what got me to a gorge.
Okay.
And there was nothing much that I was going to be doing here. So I
Right.
said, you know what? This is where I'm going to build a gorge. That's one of the changes I did, that I asked for a change. So I built my first trestle, and now I just have to finish it. And what's going to happen is that the stream will be coming from the left,
Right.
from behind, dripping down, and then splitting into 2.
Yeah.
And you have water on both sides.
Tremendous.
And just to do the trestle, I learned of something that was, well, that's one way of doing it, I guess. I used a flex track, and then I removed every 5th tie,
Yeah.
put in a wooden one. When it was dry, remove another set of like every 5 ties, so that the trestle becomes fully wood with the perfect curve.
Oh, that's clever.
Then you've got the machine shop.
Yes.
Now, like I started dabbing into Arduino, and under the car, there's like I've made a hole, and you've got 3 sets of lights, which will be flashing. So you'll have a guy welding, so you'll see the flashing lights of the arc welding, and the lights are in the car. And the building is also lit, and there's another welding guy in that corner where you'll just see the lights flash.
Flashing, yeah.
Oh, and
And the cows are interested.
and just to give credit to Ralph, because we've talked about him, that's one of Ralph's weathering cars. Same thing with the other car and the track mobile. He's the one that weathered that.
Well, he's done a super job.
Oh, yes.
Way to go, Ralph. Got to get down to visit him again. It's been a while.
I'm sure you can figure out what I use for my rocks.
Looks like layers of tile or something.
Absolutely, ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to notice it, right? That's that well done. No, I've seen the technique.
Yeah.
fact, we had a presentation last year at the St. Lawrence Division on rock cuts and the angles of the rock and why it's designed a specific way, and depending on the type of rock, following the prototypes of the railroad. It's quite interesting.
Well, like you can see it against the wallpaper, I just want to get rid of that yellowish grass. So
You can paint it.
paint the paper? Nah. So I'm going to be working on.
That's
just
what I
finishing.
do, so it makes it easy for me to see that. I just paint it whatever color I want.
That's true. So the track at the top
Yeah.
is going to be feeding my largest industry.
Okay. That's down here, I
That's the
take
side,
it.
yeah. So just to finish that, this track here goes back into the staging.
Right.
That's
Down
going
the-
towards
down the
Montreal.
helix,
It's
yeah.
going to Montreal. So what I'm thinking about is getting rid of those two tracks. This track will just somehow get back to going to Montreal. Get rid of those two and have the other track that's coming out come out this way and hook up to the existing. So it will be like an end-to-end, but
Yeah.
really not when you're looking at the.
Do you have the
staging.
radius to be able to bring it around?
Yep, because this one here is a 32-inch radius, so I'll be able to come. If anything, it will come here, no problem. It's just that it might shorten my
The yard.
the yard a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about that.
So you've got this massive industry on the top. Which way is it going to lay when it's done? Is it going to parallel the tracks here?
No, that building, well, that section of the building
Yeah.
is pretty much where it is,
Okay.
and all the back is also going to be buildings and what do you call it there? Those tanks, because that's going to be a brewery.
Okay.
And as you can see here, you'll have a track coming into this board.
Right.
So there's going to be a double track here, one for parking and one for.
So and then that's just all industry back there. There won't be any track because
yes,
it's not. Or is it
yes,
that? How do you get access there?
There's going to be tracks.
Oh, my question is, how are you going to access it?
I can have access here.
Yeah.
As for accessing, because the tracks are also going to go into the building,
Okay.
but it's not going to be that far in.
More than
Okay.
3 feet.
Yes. That's, worst case scenario, I'm probably going to have a bench for the person that's going to do
Yeah.
all the operations. Because I was told that just to do the operations might take an hour or so.
Yeah. You have to make sure it's a young person.
Yeah. What I was thinking of also using is those magnetic uncouplers.
Yeah, they work well, and sometimes not when you don't want them to work.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I'm not there yet. So.
It's a challenge.
But it's going to be a
Yeah.
lift out, worst case scenario. Since that building is going to be almost like 8 feet by 7 feet. So it's,
When you look at the middle of the helix there, it's hollow, right?
yeah.
Wouldn't it be okay to have like a 3-foot open circle in the middle that a person could come up in the middle and operate from?
Well, I was thinking that since that building is going to be pretty big, you're going to be able to get inside that building. Like your head
Yeah.
will be able to stick out of the building. So if there's any
Oh,
cars that.
So you'll be able to get in there and access
Oh,
it?
yes, yes.
Okay, well
It's
that's
just
good.
that getting in is.
You're going to have to be spry.
You got to crawl. Yeah. I've crawled a few times to do all the wiring for the helix. So it's doable, but I guess the older you get, it's
Well,
not as.
We've done an incredible amount of work here in a relatively short period of time, and you know it's really something to see that energy to do something. You were talking about operations and being in a small town here, and I guess having gotten in contact with us, hopefully what we'll be able to do is find a number of like-minded people so that together you'll be able to enjoy the hobby into the future.
Well, I hope so. Like I said, my knowledge about trains is, well, building,
Yeah.
but it's very limited,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to operations.
Well, you know, if you come up our way to Ottawa or down to Cornwall, there's operating groups that are going all the time, and yeah, just have to come out and hang out with us because we're pretty open-minded about having people join us and to learn, and maybe you'll be able to pick up a few hints, because if you pick up as much as you have here in the short period of time that you've been working on this layout, I'm sure operations will be a cinch for you once you get the idea.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be 3 years in October.
Mm-hmm.
I still have lots to do. Right now, like I said, wiring is, I'm always trying to push it aside.
Yeah.
But I've got a few sections that are already wired. I can run a train, no problem, all around.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of sections. Like, for example, the yard, nothing's wired yet.
Okay.
So I've got all that to do. I've got about 65 tortoises to install.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course to do the panels to get that going. So there's a lot of work before I start getting
Sure.
into operations. I mean, we could still do it manually. That's no problem. But I think to do operations, you got to know the setup of your cars and what cars goes. I have no idea. My cars are here.
Yep. Yeah, you need a roster with the car numbers, and you have to
I've got a
decide on
roster.
what kind of technique you want to use, whether you want to use a computer-based system or whether you want to use car cards. There's advantages to every single method, that's for sure. Yeah.
Like I said, I intend to go to JMRI, but it could take 3-4 years before
Mm-hmm.
it gets implemented. No, like my wife says, when are you gonna have everything running? It'll take
Someday.
a while. It'll take a while. It's like I
Yeah.
told her, I got to make sure all my cars have the right wheels, the couplers are aligned,
Mm-hmm.
and of course I got to learn how to do weathering on
Sure.
the cars.
All in good time.
Yeah, I want to show you something though.
Okay.
One of the things I told the guy who designed this is that I want a track that will go directly to my to my bench work,
Sure.
and that's going to be part of the operations
Mhm.
where this track here goes on the other side,
Yes.
and part of the operation was going to be bring me 5 cars. Doesn't like I'll pick the 5 cars, and those 5 cars are going to be on my bench work, so I can do all the work that has to be done.
Yeah.
And the next operation, come and get them and bring me back another 5 cars. So that's
Yeah, to keep the maintenance going on them.
yeah. So it'll make it much easier also.
So here we have, looks like the dispatcher's room.
At a future date,
Yeah.
this is going to be the dispatcher right here,
Yeah.
3-4 years from now. And that's my workbench.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody laughs that my workbench is
It's
so
neat.
clean.
Yeah.
It's clean. It's always like that. Once I finish work, I clean up.
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, you're not a real model railroader."
Unless you have something there, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the track comes in,
Yeah.
and it brings it to my workbench.
For your maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
And here I'm going to have a bunch of drawers
Yeah,
with all parts.
very nice. You're well organized. That's why you can get things done.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the furnace room, and there's another project on the go here.
Yeah. A friend of mine, I think you've met him, Rémi Gagnon.
Yes. Yeah.
He goes to a lot of shows.
Yeah.
So I thought, yeah, you know, that could be fun,
Mm-hmm.
but I need something. So I decided to build a little modular, but on something very specific. It's called Arduino.
Right.
I'm sure that now more people are getting used to the word Arduino.
Mm-hmm.
So I've built a speedometer on the first track here. Basically, it's got 2 sensors. It detects how fast your train is going.
Right.
And well, it's not there yet, but over on the corner will be the display on an LED screen saying how fast it's going.
Right.
And the other track here is definitely unique. Never been done. It's a weigh station, and a real working weigh station. It's not one that just generates numbers or it's got.
So it's going to actually weigh the car.
Exactly. It's going to weigh the front wheels. Like once the car comes over, it weighs the front wheels, then it moves to the back wheels, and then it will display the weight of the car in pounds.
Okay.
Like if the car, let's say an empty car is 46,000 pounds, you'll see 46,245,000 pounds. And what I want to do is also adjust all the weights to the cars so that it matches the empty and the full.
So the way it's all measured then, is there a special device under the track then?
Right now it's not fully connected.
Right.
But as you can see right there, that's the it's called a loading cell.
Right.
It weighs. Yeah.
It
Don't forget
weighs whatever's on
electronic.
it. Yeah.
I'm not so smart in electronics, but I know it weighs, and then it just tells you, like this device, and then this is like the computer here,
Right.
and this is the display. Now, what I found amazing is that you can build that kind of stuff for less than $10. Like the speedometer, sure, you could buy the covered speedometer
Yes.
for $100 Canadian,
Yeah.
or you could build one for $10 Canadian. It's very time consuming though, and but once somebody's done it, all you have to do is copy the code and just plug in the wires, and it works.
So it's on a Raspberry Pi
No,
concept, or is it just
Arduino?
just an Arduino? So you
just
program
Arduino.
it using what language is it using?
You're asking me.
Yeah, I'm asking you. I caught you, didn't I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I know.
Linux, isn't it, or something like
I
that?
don't
or-
know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how do you
I learned
know-
Fortran
Yeah.
when I was in CJEP.
Yeah.
And Fortran was if this, do that.
Yeah.
But that's not it. it's completely
Yeah,
different
it's
codes.
turning something on and turning something off, right?
Yeah, if 1 equals 0, if this equals 0, then it's off. And why
Yeah.
don't you just write off?
I don't know.
Why 1? So
it's been a bit of a challenge, and I see something in the back there too. It's another little project on the back wall, eh?
well, it's the same
Similar
thing as
idea?
It's my weigh station. Like for
Yeah.
example, this weigh station here is probably the new style where it weighs your front wheels and then your back wheels, and
Yeah.
it gives you the total. This one here was my first test, if you want, and it would weigh the entire car on this one here. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the problem with that is that you cannot push a car, because you could have small cars, so that means that the next car's wheels will be on the weigh station.
Right.
So basically this weigh station is
One
more
car at a
for
time.
one car at a time. You push and then
Take
it
it
weighs,
off.
then you push the next car, and so building one is enough. If somebody wants to know how to build the second, like this one, it's pretty much the same. It's just that this the program adds up the two wheels. Well, this one is just one weight, and that's it. And I hope to finish this third one here, which will be like a little animation where it's a gate that's going to open up.
That's a nice little project. Thanks very much for sharing that with us.
Well, it's if I can bring it to shows and get people involved in Arduino stuff, it just creates more animation on your layout.
Yeah. So there should be lots more to see in the future from you, I bet.
Oh yes.
And hopefully you'll get connected with us a little more in the St. Lawrence division, and we'll see you out and about. And
Well, that's my intention,
Yeah.
is to drop by and to find
it's
out.
going to be
other-
tough to find time with all this model railroading you're
No,
doing.
no, no. It's, for me, the time is, like I said, I'm building stuff, I'm searching the internet, and watching different videos to give me ideas, and that's
Wow.
that's the fun part. Now, if I could just find people in the area
Yeah.
that I could, like drop by and, I don't know, give a hand to someone, or somebody can come and give me a hand. It's like right now, those LED lights that I want to put in the balance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to hook it up. I've got this power supply and it's got no wires. How do I plug it into the wall? I have no idea. So, so yeah.